Good morning, good evening, and good night to all those people out there. Whether you're awake right now or you're an open owl, I'm about to read you a little fanfic that a friend sent me, and I hope you all enjoy. Sit back, listen, and relax as we will be diving into this adventure. I'm your host, Dr. Foxen. Well, Flutters, thank you, but I don't know. I mean, look at me. I'm strange. I get that your friends want to, well, they're interested, to say the least. I've seen or heard I've heard you talk about Twilight and how she seems to really love discovering, and it kind of, well, set up a few red flags. I mean, I don't know what's up there in her brain of hers. I mean, she might try and do a whole little number on me, take a scalpel and see what makes me tick. And of course, the reaction that he got out of Fluttershy was completely understandable, knowing Fluttershy. Twilight would never do that. She's very caring, and she loves all. She's definitely a very, very good pony. I've known her for a good portion of my life. You don't have to worry about a thing, Mark. Trust me. Let's just head on out of the house and we'll walk down there. Okay, fine. Fine. I push myself out of bed. I walk over, grab my traveler's backpack, put it on my back, and I grab my katana, put it on my back, and we begin walking. I say katana because I think it's cool, but no, I'm just joking. It's just a machete. And this machete is made out of a very, very expensive material, which I'm not going to say. Just in case you get the wrong idea. Anyway. Me and Fluttershy would begin to walk to Ponyville, or so she's told me. She's told me all the things about the two sisters, the moon and the night, and how there's Pegasus, unicorns, and earth ponies, and she's told me about a decent amount of people in town, and how the forest I came from and I saved it from was actually called the Everfree Forest, and how the wolves I had nearly got right. Instead of calling them wood wolves, they are timber wolves, understandably. So, me and Fluttershy, we begin our descent into town. Immediately, I get strange looks from certain ponies. They're all of different color, and their manes are styled differently and such. But I'm not going to focus too much on different styles and different looks, as I've already been told what each one looks like, the ones I'm supposed to be looking out for anyway, that we're going to be talking to. As we begin walking, I see, well, somebody set up with what I like to call a booth, or whatever, or a little market carriage, and they seem to be just stockpiled with a fuck ton of apples. No, I mean literally, the only thing they're selling, well, now that I'm taking a closer look, they have apple fritters, apple pie, apple cobbler, apples, caramel apples, and even the tattoo on her ass is apples. But what am I saying? She told me something about cutie marks. I guess that's what it is. But I digress. I walk over and I notice, wait a second. This is one of the ponies that Flutters has been telling me about. I walk over and say, excuse me, Miss AJ? She says, well, hi there, partner. How can I... She cuts dead. She stops dead in her sentence, staring at this thing in front of her. course, out of instinct, she thinks the Everfree had let forth one of its horrendous demons again. She ran forward, and Applejack, she has one of the strongest bucks in most of the land. She gets close, rears her hooves, she rears her hooves back and strikes. I immediately feel the impact. And motherfucker, it fucking hurt. Means she didn't get me in the special area, but she got me pretty close. She got me right in the middle of the chest as she jumped up and kicked me right in the chest. I fell back, and let's just say when I fell back, I slipped, and there was a bench, perfect, right there. Don't know why someone put a bench there, but they put it there. And the little armrest was made out of metal, so you can put two and two together, guess where I hit, and you'll basically get the sum of it. I fucking bobbed my head right in the side of it. Fluttershy screamed and said, well, I mean, as loud as she could scream anyway, said, "Applejack, what are you doing? Get back there, Flutters. You don't know what the varmint's capable of." And then she said, "No, this is my friend, the one I've been telling you about, Mark." Applejack's eyes went a little wide. She walked over to me, and I pushed myself up before she could do anything. She was about to say something, but push comes to shove, I backed up, and she could immediately feel. It would be, I know it's weird for them, I guess, in that only, well, unicorns can really have a strong sense of magic, but she can feel it radiating off of me. I was preparing one of my more, well, more top tier magical attacks. Well, it wasn't really an attack, but it was something that would kind of draw her away. I stare at her and I say, "Look, just stay right there. Now look, we may have gotten on the wrong foot here, but my name's Mark. Here's his Applejack. Let's just start there." She says, "I'm mighty sorry about that, partner. I just thought you were one of them, well, another one of them things in the Everfree. But my name's Applejack. Mark, it's mighty fine to make your acquaintance." She trots over, extends her hoof, and I extend my hand, and we shake, and I say, "Well, Miss Applejack, I appreciate you actually apologizing. Where I come from, that doesn't happen often." She raises an eyebrow, but before she can question, she says, "Well, as a token of my apology, I'd like you to have this here, partner." She hands me an apple pie She hands me an apple pie and 4 apples, and I say, "No, I can't. I cannot accept this. This would surely, well, have a bad influence on our relationship. Well, we're not that way, I mean our friendship." She said, "Nah, bafooey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it all. Just take it on up and just get yourself taken care of. I would stay and chat, but looks like there's some mighty fine hungry customers around, so I'm gonna get back to my sales. And one more thing, Mark. I'm sorry. Y'all have a mighty fine day." She trots on back to her cart and begins her selling. First pony I met, well, second pony really, I get bucked right in the fucking chest. Lucky it wasn't in the face or between the legs, but hey, bygones be bygones. I am in one piece, and that's all that matters. I probably jinxed myself. Nah, whatever. it'll come and bite me in the ass later. But before anything else interesting or different can happen, I see, well, I see what I think is a rainbow traveling around at fast speeds through the sky. I see it coming towards me, fast and fast and fast, and I hear, "Hey, Fluttershy, watch out! I'll get that beast for you." And immediately, I see the speed that she's going towards me in. If that speed hits me, I'm gonna break something. So immediately, I panic. And then, suddenly, they hear what sounds like gas quickly being sucked into something. And then, she flies right through me, except she's confused. So is Fluttershy. Rainbow scoots to a halt and turns and looks at me, and I'm a vaporous cloud. Of course, I'm not surprised. And then they hear that same sound of wind and gas quickly escaping something. And they see me, and I'm standing there saying, "Look, you can try all you want, but you're not going to get anywhere. Look, I understand that you may find me opposing or threatening or intimidating, but trust me, I am in no way, shape, and or form wanting to do anything that would impede and or harm you or Ponyville. I am just here as a guest, nothing more, nothing less. I'm not going to impede. I must say that it was some mighty fine flying back there." This seems to please her, of course. She seems like she's an she seems like an ego freak, but that's besides the point. I give her a gentle smile and say, "Look, I want to say, well, maybe we got off on the wrong foot, even though it was your fucking fault." She raises an eyebrow and says, "What'd you say?" I say, Nothing. I'm just thinking out loud. But anyway, my name's Mark. What's your name?" "Actually, never mind. It's Rainbow Dash, right?" Of course. She does a little pose and says, "Oh yeah, it's Rainbow Dash. Who else would it be? Besides the most awesome daring flyer in all of Equestria." I can't help but laugh a little bit. Well, I didn't laugh. I kept a smile underneath the darkness of my hoodie, and I couldn't help but just a little soft snort. "Well, it's nice to meet you, Rainbow. So I'm guessing you're a little busy." She says, "Yeah, I've been practicing some stunts till I saw you down here and thought that Fluttershy was in trouble. But I can see everything's okay now, so yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go practice some more of my flying. Later." She zooms off in the air. And then Fluttershy looks at me and says, "I believe that Twilight is at Rarity's, so we'll head down there." As we walk, apparently they were wrong. Twilight wasn't at Rarity's, or wherever that is. The white-coated mare, which I knew was Rarity since Fluttershy described her so vividly, along with Twilight. I said, "Hey, Twilight, Rarity." They both turned to look at me, and their faces kind of fell flat till they saw Fluttershy next to me. And they saw Fluttershy just kind of smiling. They seemed to calm down a bit, kind of getting the idea, as they were very logical. They were very logical and not so egotistical and strong-headed as the other two. They trotted up. Twilight looked at me in astonishment. She could practically feel the magical energy and essence glowing off of me. And that was just one of the powers I was capable of. I'm capable of 7 different powers, and I have a bunch of different things of technology pumped into me. And I have a few different things that are of technological advances inside of me, my body. But I look at them and say, well, it's nice to make your acquaintance, you two. I say, so, what happens now? Rarity says, well, darling, my name is Rarity, and your name must be Mark. Fluttershy's been telling us oh so much about you, and how you saved her from the grasp of those icky and disgusting timber wolves. Twilight looks at me and says, well, Mr. Mark, if you don't mind me asking, maybe I could sit you down and we could talk and I could interview you. It's of course up to you. I look at her and I say, I don't mind at all being interviewed. I guess that would be expected, knowing I'm probably from some different world. Which, actually, now that I think about it, I am from a different world. I don't exactly remember seeing ponies like you where I'm from, but yeah, I don't mind it at all. Before any other talks can be exchanged, I say, well, Miss Rarity and Miss Twilight, I say let's go ahead and talk somewhere more indoors. I'm tired of getting stared at out here. Of course, they both look around and nod in agreement. I say, of course. And I look at them and say, this day's been so fast-paced. Everything's just been happening so rapidly. They look at me and say, well, when you're in a town that has a likelihood of being attacked by anything from the Everfree, everyone's really fast-paced and on top of Pinkie Pie, well, everyone's always really excited and happy. So it's to be expected, of course, darling. As we walk back to the Carousel Boutique, what I later found out, I looked at them. I said, so this place is called the place we're heading to is called the Carousel Boutique, right? She said, yes. My little sister and her friends, the Cutie Mark Crusaders, are there, and they're doing their latest stunt. I don't decide to question it and say, and what might that be? She says, Cutie Mark Crusader gourmet chefs. She lets out a soft giggle. Until, of course, I see the smoke floating in the air. Their faces drop, and so does mine. I begin sprinting along with both of them, and once we get there, the building's on fire.